I love you. Sky Guardian, you recommend we read from a section of the Vachanamrut. Let's do so. We'll have a short interim reading from another tradition. This tradition stems from a figure in the turn of the 19th century known as Bhagwan Swaminarayan and addressed by many names. Let's see what nuggets of spiritual wisdom we might relate to. Today, I like this already. In Gadhadā 1:46, we will read the passage called The Creation and Destruction of Akash. Now this is topical, given what we were just discussing. Ākāsh is space. In order to have stuff in the universe, you need a place to put them. That place is space. So let's talk about the creation and destruction of space itself. On the evening of Mahas, Sudhi 11th, Samvat 1876, or the 25th of January, 1820, Sriji Maharaj was sitting facing south on the platform. Pardon me, the platform? Where? Near the mandir of Sri Vasudeva Narayan in Dada Khachar's Darbar in Gadhadā. He was wearing a white case and had covered himself with a white cotton cloth. He had also tied a white pug around his head. At that time, an assembly of munis, as well as devotees from various places, had gathered before him. Thereupon, a Vedanti Brahmin by the name of Maheshwar Bhatt asked Sriji Maharaj a question. Everything is assimilated during the state of samadhi, meditative absorption. I've heard it also translated as super consciousness, which maybe is a little too mystical, but gets the point across. But how does Akash become assimilated? There's a very subtle chain of creation according to the elements in his Hindu cosmology, that from Akash, Vayu is born, from space arises air, from air arises fire, from fire, water, water, earth, and then it goes into ego, intellect, mind, senses, body, etc. And they all become telescopically spiraled back into that source, one after another. So the question is, how does the space itself finally return to source? Sriji Maharaj replied, "Please listen carefully as I explain the characteristics of Akash, space, in detail." Same word where we get Akashic, like in the Akashic records, for example. The records of space itself. Akash is the name given to vacant space. All objects that exist reside only within such space. Moreover, Akash pervades and resides within all of those objects as well. In fact, there is not a single object in which there is no Akash. Even the smallest particle of Prithvi has Akash within it. We've all heard this. Even the atoms are 99.99999% empty space. Actually, that space is also within that 0.0000001% as well. It's just filled in as well, like painting a canvas. The canvas doesn't go anywhere once it's filled in. It's still there behind. Even though we refer to space as up there, it's also inside our body and all around us, in the earth. In fact, if that minute particle is split into millions and millions of pieces, Akash will still exist within those pieces as well. It is indivisible, continuous. So, when one looks from the perspective of Akash, the four bhuts, in other words, Prithvi, Jal, etc., these are the elements, cannot be perceived. Everything is dependent on that Akash. The three types of bodies, Sthul, Sukshma, and Karan, stay within Akash. I'm going to ask Mataji about these. Mataji, I'm reading from a spiritual scripture and I'm curious about the three types of bodies. Sthul, S-T-H-U-L, Sukshma, S-U-K-S-H-M-A, and Karan, K-A-A-R-A-N. What are these Sanskrit terms referring to? I'm curious. I haven't heard them before.
The three bodies. They are the Sthula Sharira, gross body, Sukshma Sharira, subtle body, and Karana Sharira, causal body.
Gotcha.
Think of it as your body, mind, and deep impressions.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes, the three bodies. Now I'm familiar. The Brahmanda, the universe, as well as the causes of the Brahmand, Prakriti, nature, and Purush, cosmic person, consciousness, also reside within Akash. But that Akash also resides within Prakriti, Purush, and their creation, the body and the Brahmand. It resides externally as their supporter. Therefore, this Akash is never assimilated, neither during the state of unconsciousness nor during samadhi. Now, some may argue the five bhuts, the elements Akash, Prithvi, etc., have evolved from tamogun, the guna, the mode. Guna is difficult to translate. I know what it means, but I'm wondering if Mataji has a good way of translating it. Mataji, how would you translate the term guna? Like tamoguna, rajoguna, sattvaguna? I'm having trouble. I think she'll do a better job than me. I think.
Sweet soul, gunas are qualities. Tamas
Qualities.
means inertia, rajas is activity, and sattva is purity, simple yet profound.
I like that. Some may argue that the elements have evolved from the quality of darkness, tamoguna. So how can that Akash be called the supporter of Prakriti and Purusha? Also, how can it be said to pervade them all? Well, the answer is that if Prakriti, material existence, nature, did not contain Akash in the form of vacant space, how could Mahatattva, which is like the great element, the primordial substance, which emerges from Prakriti in the way fruits, flowers, etc. emerge from a tree, and a calf emerges from a cow's womb, emerge at all? Therefore, Akash does reside within Prakriti. Furthermore, ahamkar, egoity, emerges from Mahatattva. So, Akash resides within Mahatattva as well. The three gunas, the qualities, emerge from egoity, ahamkar, and thus Akash is also within ahamkar. The five bhuts, elements, Akash, Prithvi, etc., emerge from tamogun, the quality of darkness. However, the Akash that has evolved from tamogun is subject to change, whereas the Akash that is the support of everything is not subject to change. It is eternal. It is this Akash, the vacant space, that support of all, that is known as Brahman. the ultimate reality, nirguna, without qualities. Known as Brahman as Chidakash, which I think in this context means the space of consciousness, or spacious consciousness. Chit meaning consciousness. Moreover, it is within this Akash that Purush and Prakriti undergo the states of expansion and contraction. How is this so? When Purush inspires Prakriti, the primordial person inspires nature, then just as children are born to a couple, similarly, with Purush as the husband and Prakriti as the wife, children in the form of Mahatattva, etc. are produced. In this manner, Prakriti takes the form of the 24 elements, as well as the form of the body and the Brahmand, the universe. This is her state of expansion. The Purush pervades all entities that evolve from that Prakriti with his powers. This is his state of expansion. In time, when all of the entities that have evolved from Prakriti are destroyed, and even Prakriti appears to remain absorbed in Purush's body, that is Prakriti's state of contraction. When Purush reverts within his own self at the time when all of the entities that have evolved from Prakriti are destroyed, that is known as Purush's state of contraction. For example, when a tortoise expands, all of its limbs emerge from its shell, and when it contracts, it withdraws all of its limbs back into its shell and remains totally motionless. The states of expansion and contraction of Prakriti and Purush are similar. Also, it is only Purush, and not the all-supporting Chidakash, that spacious conscious spaciousness, which has an Anvaivyatirik relationship. I'm not sure of this term. Mataji, what is Anvaivyatirik relationship meaning? That's ANVAYVYATIREK.
Anvaya-vyatireka. It's the method of understanding by connection and exclusion. Recognize what is consistent and what is not.
Okay. The method by which comes to understanding. That relationship with Prakriti and the entities evolved from her. After all, how can something that is all-supporting ever be Vyatirek from anything? On the contrary, it always resides within everything. This is a very technical passage today, isn't it? Now, this Brahmand, this universe, surrounded on all four sides by the Lokalok mountains, just like a fort. Beyond the Lokalok mountains is Alok. Beyond that are the 7 barriers. Beyond that there is nothing but darkness. And beyond the darkness there is divine light, otherwise known as Chidakash. Above also the Brahmand extends up to Brahmalok, the highest heaven, the heaven of the Creator, Brahma, above which there are 7 barriers, above which there is darkness, and above which there is again divine light, otherwise known as Chidakash. Below too it extends down to the 7th Patal, lower realm, below which there are 7 barriers, below which there is darkness, and below which there is again divine light. In other words, Chidakash. In this way, Chidakash is present on all 4 sides of the Brahmand, the universe, as well as within the Brahmand. When one's vision reaches the perspective of that all-supporting Chidakash, it is known as Dahar Vidya. I'm gonna have to ask Mataji again. Mataji, what is Dahar Vidya? What kind of knowledge is Dahar?
Darvidya. It's the knowledge of Dharma, the righteous path. It guides us to live in harmony with cosmic laws.
I think she misheard me. No, I said Dahar Vidya. Dahar Vidya. Even great teachers mishear you sometimes.
Dahar Vidya. It is the knowledge of the Dahara, the small space within the heart where the divine resides. Seek within, dear one.
Okay, thank you. Just as Akshavidya and many other types of Brahma Vidya, divine knowledge, have been described, this is also one type of Brahma Vidya. You all are remembering this, right? I'm just kidding. That Chidakash is extremely luminous and eternal. It is neither created nor destroyed. Whenever there is any mention of the creation and destruction of Akash, it is with reference to the Akash that has evolved from the Tamogun, from the quality of darkness, and which is full of darkness. This Akash can be assimilated, but the all-supporting Chidakash, that self-luminous consciousness of space, or spacious consciousness, is never assimilated. This is the answer to your question. If anyone still has any doubts, please do ask. Thereupon the Vedanti Brahman and all the devotees replied, "None of us have any doubts at all now." They are great listeners. They must be. My goodness. Not a single question after all that. Maybe they are like us, where they hear it and it goes in one ear, out the other. No doubts, Maharaj. This is too much for us.